Welcome to Big Up DollarBin Beats, where we review the best and worst digs that we can find in the bargain bin. We've been mostly focusing on drum bass, but today we're going to go a little bit different with some dubstep-ish weird stuff that I just found in the DollarBin at a local record chain here in the Seattle area. Bought these actually all online through their Discogs and went and picked them up locally. If you see any of the price stickers on these as they go by, you'll see I got a really good deal on most of these. So even your local record store probably has stuff you might be able to, is worth checking out. Start off with Subtrack Transitions 1. This was released as a series of singles in between his first and second album. I've been a big fan of Subtrack since his early dubstep days. And these ones are a little bit closer to dubstep. They're not as poppy as either of his full-blown solo albums, and they're both really good. We've got like some stabby kicks, dropping into some squelchy mid-bass. We've got some cool, as you can see, some cool packaging. It's not like dubstep. I was specifically looking for dubstep at a local shop, but kind of got dubstep-ish tunes. And it's got like this squelchy mid-bass, some great percussions. Definitely dig both these releases. The B-side is Hold the Line. It's got some straight dubsteppy bass with a lot of percussion. If you can see the label on this thing, it says it's $13.99, but I paid like $2.99. Definitely, if you can get it for that price, it's well worth it. Subtrack is, in general, an amazing producer. Next, we've got the gem of this grouping of records. Like I said, I was kind of searching for dubstep records, and this came up as a dubstep record. It's not really so much a dubstep record as just kind of general bass music by Throwing Snow. Now, this guy turned out to be like a huge find for me. I had never heard of him. This was released as part of Record Store Day in 2014. It's three songs, and it's released by a label that's run by the Fabric guys. And apparently this guy's got a little bit of a career over in England. He's a resident at Fabric. I had never heard of him. All three tunes on this thing are amazing. I got it for $1.99. I cannot recommend it highly enough. There's only 500 of them made, so definitely run out and grab them, because even 500 pressings for something this good is going to be rare, and I doubt it will stay super cheap if this guy ever breaks out. The A-side is... Ooh, I messed up my notes. Sorry. The A-side is... Mira, and I love this tune. The bass is huge. It's got stutter drums. It's got a real groove to it. The B-side is more housey sounding, kind of 4/4 stuff that uses some really interesting percussion samples. I love this. I cannot recommend it enough. Go pick it up. It's Throwing Stone. It's the Mosaic VIPs. Go see if you can find this for cheap. Next, as you can see the price here, $11.99. I got this for, I think, $1.99. Picked it up because it is drum bass, and drum bass is my main thing. It's Shogun Audio, Zyon bass, Simple Man, and the A-side is Shook One, Further Away From Me, Logistics Remix. This is kind of the early 2010s liquid sound. The Shook One, I actually didn't know this. The two guys that are in Shook One used to be in Pendulum before it was Pendulum, and they were like this heavy metal group. I did forget to look if they toured with them. This is a Logistics remix. This tune's a little bit forgettable. I'm a big fan of Logistics. I have more Logistics albums than anything else, and on Hospital Records, and I think Logistics is better on his own than instead of doing remixes. It's an okay tune, but I really liked Zyon bass. The B-side was much better. It's called Simple Man. It's a dark liquid tune. Comes in with some heavy Reese's. Zion bass was part of Silent Dust, which is one of the most interesting and experimental, like, atmospheric drum and bass groups that have formed. You definitely should check out Silent Dust's first album. I'll put a link in the description. It's amazing. These definitely, for getting this brand new, never played before. I'm the one that opened up the shrink wrap. It was definitely worth the price, $1.99. I wouldn't spend more than $5 on this release, unless you're a collector of Shogun Limited. But it's definitely worth picking up at a good price. Love it. Next. So I saw this, and I saw it way back when it first came out in the record stores, and I thought it was kind of cheesy and dumb. And then I saw that they were selling it for $3.99 as opposed to $17.99. It's supposed to have some dubstep remixes. It's got 7 songs on it. It's a full album. At $3.99, I was like, I'll take a risk on it. And if I don't like it, I can give it to my kids because they love Disney stuff. But I got to say, this album is trash. It's terrible. It sounds like an executive at Disney went to Ultra or some other huge rave, EDC, and went to the EDM stage and like hired the like opening acts to do terrible remixes. Barely any of the songs are recognizable as Disney songs, except for the bonus track, which is Let It Go by Dave Aud, club remix. This one is what I wanted all of these remixes to be. It's got most of the words. They're not. It's a completely recognizable remix of Let It Go. Like, it has most of the Let It Go features, and I wanted that from the rest of these. I mean, there's some big names on here. There's Evicti, there's Daft Punk, Japanese pop stars, Amira Van Buren, and I don't like any of these songs. The one that made it come up as a dubstep release was this Matt Zhao remix. I looked him up. He only had a couple remixes, and it is the type of dubstep style that I hate. It is squelchy and loud and tear-outy, and it's made for kids at a rave and isn't interesting to me at all. I'm not hating on Matt Zhao. He might be a totally great producer, but I did not enjoy this song at all. Even at $4.99, I'd pass on this because even my kids don't want to listen to it. And I thought at least I could give it to them. Next. This one was $4, and it is, it came out on Big Data. It's called Roseau, and the name Razoo, and the name of the album Salt. It's a full album. I got it for $4. Originally it was $21. That's pretty expensive. Big Data is a label that's released a lot of grime, some dubstep, some UK hip-hop stuff, so I thought this was well worth the risk. It said it was dubstep. I wouldn't call really any of these tunes dubstep per se. It's more down-tempo, it's kind of chill, but it's real bass-heavy, and so I could see why you could say it's influenced by dubstep, because trip-hop before dubstep was not this bass-heavy. Now, I really like it for the most part, and I definitely think it was worth the price. A couple standout songs for me were actually New Glasses, See You Soon in Florida, all right next to each other. The last half of the album kind of lags, if you ask me. But these are, all three of them got real good lyrics, real bass heavy, kind of the more stylish sides of the songs. If I was to guess, I would say Florida was probably the closest thing to a single on this album. So from a markdown price of $21.99 to $2.99 or $3.99, this is amazing dollar bin find. It's exactly what I look for when I'm looking in the dollar bins. It's interesting music that I really like. Now, is this going to have much resale value in the future? Probably not. Like, it's probably going to go down from that $3.99 to like $1.99 and then 99 cents. But it's actually pretty damn good music, and it was well worth checking out for $4. There's no way you could buy it for that much if I was just buying the MP3s, and I get the MP3s for free. So this is the type of stuff I'd keep a lookout for. You can always kind of start to cultivate like the labels that you like, the distributors, when it was made and where it was from. That's always things to look out for when you're like seeing if you want to take a risk on a record that's in the dollar bin. This one, I'd run out and grab. Last but not least, we have another Record Store Day release. This is Lost Midas and the Seshen. They're two remixes by two artists I've never heard of, Unravel and the Seshen. So I don't really understand who the market for this is. Now, neither of these are kind of dance pop tracks that kind of mixed in a little bit of dubstep vibe in the the early 2010s. I think this one came out in 2013 as part of Record Store Day. And I don't get it, really. I mean, the price on this was $7.99. It's it's a pretty 7-inch, and I picked it up because it was a pretty 7-inch and it said it was dubstep. But to me, like, a remix is for an established artist to give an unknown producer a chance, or an unknown producer or a big producer to give like an unknown artist a chance. Like, you kind of want to mix and match, like someone big with someone small, or two really big people. When you pick two people that no one's ever heard of and you have them remix each other's work, like, who are you marketing that to? And then you're releasing it on Record Store Day and you're giving it that Record Store Day premium of $7.99 for two songs. It's not a surprise that this is selling for $1.99 now. That being said, just because I don't understand the marketing behind it, both the tunes are pretty decent. They're both also very forgettable. They're not going to be hits, but I love to make 7-inch mixes, and this will definitely make it into one of my 7-inch mixes. Maybe even both the tunes. The Session's more of a live band, and Lost Midas is kind of like a Sylvan Esso style. It even feels like it might be off of a Sylvan Esso. People are trying to kind of replicate that sound. If you can find this in the dollar bin, it might be worth a pickup. I'd probably give it a listen if you can ahead of time. I'm not hating on it, but it wasn't really standout. Anyways, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like or a subscribe, and we'll keep posting more videos. Thanks. Bye.